and welcome to World Surfers Public Speaking Club. We're a part of an international organization called Toastmasters International, an organization that has been a leader in providing leadership and public speaking skills for over 90 years. My name is Diana and I'm the president of this club. And I would like to ask you, how many of you here for the first time? Please raise your hands. Oh my God, I am so lucky today. Guys, please welcome on stage. We would like to welcome you all tonight. Wow, it's a lucky day. Actually, it's a happy day, and we'll find out why soon. Okay, so guys, I would like to just ask you two questions. Number one, what's your name? And number two is, why did you come here tonight? Just a sentence or two will be enough, don't worry. And I would like to start from that side.
Hello, my name is Yuri, and I'm the president of this Toastmasters club. So my reason is to watch for the World Surfers Committee interaction, organization, and to upgrade my English a little bit, maybe. Thank you.
Your English is wonderful, thank you. This is president of another Toastmasters club. It's called Zlatoust. It's a Russian club that also comes here every other Tuesday. Today is not their Tuesday. And the next person?
Okay. My name is Paulina. I'm here for the first time, and I heard a lot about this organization, about these wonderful meetings, and decided to come and figure it out. What's that? What's going on here, and maybe to join.
Nice. Thank you, Paulina.
Thank you so much.
My name is George. I'm visiting Moscow. My home Toastmaster club is Zurich, Switzerland, and I'm here on a tourist tour in Moscow, and I have behind me 1 month learning Russian language at the University of St. Petersburg.
Nice, thank you. Toastmasters has over 16,000 clubs all over the world, and we love to visit each other, so thank you for visiting us.
My name is Vladimir. I came here. Here to hear American English.
Okay, we have different levels of English, some American, some were British, but I hope you all enjoyed tonight.
My name is Nigora, and I came to this place because I like English and I like to meet new people. That's you.
I'm Olga, and I've come only for company with my friend
Who's your friend?
here.
Okay, nice, thanks for bringing her. Thank you.
My name is Tas. It seemed very interesting for me. I wanted to look how to do performance, public performance, and public speech, and to find friends, new friends.
Amazing, you found a perfect place.
I'm Kate, and I've come here because I heard a lot from Yuri, who's a friend of mine. I heard a lot about Toastmasters at all, and I was interested in how it works, what it is like, and so I also brought a friend for you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anastasia. I came here because I have a goal to improve my English during the next year, and this is maybe one of the options that will help me.
Yeah, that's true.
My name is Rita, and I also want to practice my English.
So thank you so much. So let me just tell you what's going to happen today. First, we will have the first part with the prepared speakers. So those people who follow certain projects and they came here, prepared them, and they will present them. Now in the second part, I want you all guys on stage again. because this is a part for improvisational speaking. You will hear some questions and you have a couple of minutes to answer them. It's normally really fun and it's a really good chance to practice English and public speaking. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave your details with Kate. If you have any questions about how to join the club, what to do next, also contact her. Now you can come
Thank
back
you.
to your seats. Thank you so much. Before we proceed, I would like to remind you of some rules. Please, guys, turn off your mobile phones, not to annoy the speakers who are here. And also, I'd like to mention that we are volunteers. We're organized all as a team of volunteers. So, in case you want to help us somehow, maybe with social media, we can give you a whole channel, or maybe you could, I mean, there are a lot of things you could do with us. It's fun, it's cool, and you make friends as well. So if you're interested in joining the committee and helping us with something, approach me after the meeting. And now, I would like to proceed with you to the main part of this evening. I would like to welcome on stage our Toastmaster of the day, Alena. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Alena Dmitrieva. I'm a Toastmasters for today. And this meeting is special. It's going to be very sensitive, as you know. Our topic sounds happiness takes no account of time. So, how do you feel now? Are you feel happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, really. Do you count the time? No. Do you watch your? No. Okay. Yes, I see, and I agree with you that happiness takes no account of time. As for me, it's so. When I work or do my housework or just relax at home or with my friends, I don't count the time. I just feel happy. When I wait for somebody, use public transport, or when I'm stuck in traffic, my eyes start to keep track of time. It means that I'm bored and I want to end it, of course. What can I say about our speakers? The first speaker is Irina Suvorova. She said that she likes being busy and she doesn't count the time at this moment. I want to welcome her.
And where is Gaia?
And
Gaia,
where is Gaia?
over there. I think for Diana will be first.
No, don't worry. So if we introduce the minor roles first, and then we proceed to the speakers. So we first present the timer, our counter, and then
okay.
we go to the speakers.
Sorry, that's my first time.
No
and
worries.
I want to present the next role takers. The first is General Evaluator, Nastya Kolodina.
Thank you. Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, tonight my role is channel evaluator. I'm going to watch the flow of the whole meeting, and at the end I'm going to present my report with the advantages and the drawbacks of each of the minor roles, as well as invite my team of evaluators to evaluate each speaker who will be presenting their performances today. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now I want to invite a person who can say the thought of the day, and it's Anton Shiglov.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will have to use one slide presentation. Today, I'm going to share with you one useful insight about the happiness. What usually makes people happy, it's their occupation. And here is one interesting thing about how to find your ideal occupation and future because a lot of people struggling for that during all their life, trying to find their ideal occupation. And there is a thought how to find it. First, you need to look over your skills, so what you can do, great. Then you should look for your passion. What things drive you mad? So what do you like in general? And the third one, you should look for things that you feel important in your life and the life of other people. Let me share just a couple of examples how it works. And on the intersection of these three circles, you should search your ideal occupation. For example, if I have some passion, I like some flights, airplanes, and I also think this is important for development of the humanity, like flights on them and other planets, but I don't have skills for that, and this really takes a lot of time. So that won't be my ideal occupation probably. Also, I know one friend of mine. She was doing the medical job, and she had the skills for that, and also she felt this is important. She was a neurologist, but unfortunately she ended up that this is not her passion. After working several years in the medicine, and she finally decided to change her entire profession and to learn for informational technology. So that's how this concept is changing people occupation and life, and I also urge you to remember that and think after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is grammarian and word master Kate Lapteva. Okay, you have an important role.
Yes, as a grammarian in today's meeting, I'm going to highlight very quickly 3 reasons why you should apply a correct grammar usage while communicating. So first of all, without good grammar, you can be misunderstood. Second of all, some people, most of the people, consider good grammar as a mark of education and intelligence. So you can make a conclusion what people think about poor grammar. And the third one, good grammar gives you an appearance of credibility. So if you are attempting to become an expert in some profession or just an expert in some field, good grammar is a way for people to trust you. So as a grammarian, I will note down everybody's mistakes, grammar mistakes, and I'll make a general report after in the end. Thank you.
And who is next? Next is George, counter.
Good evening, everybody. As a guest, I just happen to be a counter with a function. It perfectly fits to my job, former job as a project manager, international. It means that whenever you are ready, should be ready to say something, to do something what is relevant. Thank you for this, for the trust to give me this function. What I will do, I will count all those not nice not words like M, and so on. And the reason is to tell you, to show you who is the champion in a negative sense, in order to think on it and try to avoid it in your oral presentations. You can make a break, that's allowed, but to fill it with it's not allowed. Thank you.
We happiness takes no account of time, but time here is very important. And please welcome our timer, Елена Очирова.
Hi everybody, my name is Elena and I'm going to be timer for today. We have certain rules. First of all, if the speaker reached the minimum level of the time of his or her presentation, I will show this green card. If you reach the middle part of your presentation, I will show the yellow card, and the red card if you reach the maximum level. After 30 seconds, I will start to applaud. So you must wrap it up and stop your presentation. Thank you.
So, thank you for your roles. And now we're going to hear some speeches of our great speakers. And first speaker is Diana Alzubi and her project. Project is
Leadership Redefined.
Thank you.
Hold on, don't count the time just yet. Just don't do on. The other day I was watching this Chinese drama series. It was about corporate world, it was about love. But the way it went throughout all the 45 episodes, the boss comes, everyone is silent. He gives some rules and tells people things to do. You do this, you do this, you do this. Everyone is like, and then he goes. And my thought was, that looks good. Nobody says no, everybody obeys. Looks kind of effective. But then I gave it another thought and remember this. When boss, for instance, comes in your organization, tells people what to do, but then the moment he goes away, what does happen? Do people sometimes get back to their phones and start playing games like he didn't come? Or maybe start downloading the movies because he can't see anymore? I mean, I can see some nodding. And so my second question was, does it have to be this way? Is there a better way to lead? And this was my research question for this topic. And what I found out is, yes, there is a better way that produces better results. So what is it? This is an excerpt from the book Decision Maker by Bake. And what he did in his organization with 27,000 employees is that he gave the decision making he passed it from the bosses to the people. So big decisions were no longer made by bosses. They were made by his employees. Result? People started feeling happier. People started loving their jobs. They loved the responsibility. And the company started producing great results. Now, that's one book, one example. Okay, but are there others? Yes, there are. Some of the biggest examples. This company, Zappos, over 1,500 employees. At one day they decided, we don't need bosses. We can live without bosses. And they fired all the bosses they had. After that, the company all became flat. All 1,500 employees became at the same level. Now, you would expect that this company would collapse after a few months. But no, the company succeeded so well that if you check the reviews, customer reviews about this company online, you realize that this is an exceptional company and the employees absolutely love it. Another great example outside of business. Now this was the topic of our speaker on our last meeting, Pavel. Now this is Captain Market, and what does the captain do? The captain commands. He tells everybody what to do. But at one point, this was the first captain in the US Navy that decided to stop giving commands. And he asked the people, his crew, to decide by themselves what to do and what not to do. And what happened is that from being the worst team, the worst crew in the US Navy, their team in 1 year became the best team. Why? Because everybody became motivated to do their own things without being told, you do this, you do this, you do this. They just decided to do it by themselves. So that's one way of doing things differently. Another way, this graph is from a book, Good to Great, by Jim Collins. What he did is a 5-year research with his team, analyzing thousands and thousands of companies. So what he analyzed is he chosen for a few companies that did such a good job. They did, their returns were 7 times more than normal companies. Now these are not the bad companies, these are just normal companies. So the question he asked in his research, what is it that they did differently? And the number one thing he found was that their leaders were different. How so? 2 things. One is that they possessed humility. What is that? Now you'd expect a successful leader to go like, you know, oh, I'm like this, I'm this, this, and this. But here, for instance, when they were taking interviews of these leaders of the great companies, whenever they were asked, how come you succeeded, they never said I. All they said is, our team, our colleagues, our clients were amazing. And when they asked them about the bad things that happened to the company, they said, it was our fault, it was my fault personally, etc., etc. Now when the normal companies were asked, their bosses said, whenever there was something good, they said, it was because I made this decision, it was because at that time I did this, and it's because I'm great and I'm an awesome CEO. And when they were asked about the bad things that happened to the company, they said, bad luck happens. So that's one thing. Another thing is that in their leadership style, they always put their people, their teams first, their success first. It wasn't about their own success. It was success of other people. And it was noticeable in every single decision they made. This is not the only example. So this was referred to as level 5 leadership. Now, there were more notices of this called servant leadership by Robert Greenleaf. So one of the things he said, the servant leader is a servant first, the one who helps others, basically. That's another famous writer. And there are many examples of such leaders. Just have a look at the list. You have Benjamin Franklin, Henry Ford, Nelson Mandela, even Jesus and Buddha, if you think about it. Also, humble, put other people first. So, now you know that there is a lot of data, a lot of research to support that our normal, typical hierarchical type of leadership and management, the decision, like the boss is telling people what to do and not deciding by their own, is not the best way to lead. So now as you have this powerful knowledge, maybe you could become that level 5 leader one day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wait, please.
Oh, you want to ask me something?
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Because now, after your speech, I have some questions about it. And is it important to feel happy in a company?
I think absolutely, absolutely important, because at the end of the day, you spend at your company most of your life, more than with your husband or wife, more than with your children. So, you know, you might as well find a job where you're happy and valid.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with it?
Yes.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Our second speaker is a very beautiful girl, Irina Suvorova.
One more, please.
And her,
Thank you.
and your project is?
My project is When Will You Start Starvation? Good evening, my dear friends. Do you want to save and improve your health without strong, serious diets, heavy sports or medicines? Do you want? I do. I do also. And recently I has heard that starvation or fasting can help me with it. So I started to learn this project carefully. This subject became very passionate for me. So I have read several articles about the scientists who discovered this phenomenon. And now I want to share this information with you. Molecular biologist Yoshinori Asumi has won the 2016 Nobel Prize for his works in the field of autophagy, the processes by which cells recycles and digests its own components. He was the first person in the world to visually observe and describe the function of autophagy, also self-cannibalization. The processes by which cells placed in the state of starvation can consume their own proteins for fuel and can degrade their own parts for proteins when there is not enough energy longer for it. Essentially, this is body's mechanism of getting rid all the cell, all the broken down, all the cell machineries, membranes, organelles, and other debris. This is the orderly, regulated process of getting rid of all our broken mechanism and cell parts. Cells in the state of starvation can consume their own parts, as you already seen, for energy. The same process is used in our organism to eliminate damaged proteins and also ward off of all invading bacteria or viruses. There is a similar, better known process called apoptosis, and better known as programmed cell death. While it may sound kind of macabre at first, realize that this process is essential for maintaining good health. Suppose you own a car. You love this car. You have great memories in it. You love to ride it. But after a few years, it does not look so great. It becomes worse and worse. It costs several thousands of dollars every year for maintaining to you. It is breaking down all the time. Is it better to keep it around than it's nothing but a hunk of junk? Obviously not. So it is better than you can just get rid of it and buy a snazzy new car. The same process happens in our body. Cells become old and junky. It is better for themselves to be programmed to die after a certain amount of divisions. This is the process of self-cleaning of our organism. And it's like leasing a car. After a certain amount of time, you just get rid of the car, whether it's still working or not. And you don't need to worry about it breaking down at the worst possible time. You just get a new snazzy car. And the same thing happens at the sub-cellular level. Sometimes, instead of replacing the entire car, you just replace one battery for the new one. And the same with our cells. Instead of killing the entire cell, we use the process autophagy, and we just need to replace one part, one broken part from the entire cell, and send it to the lysosome, which is a special organelle. Sorry, lysosome, which is a special organelle containing enzymes to degrade damaged proteins. So this is the process of autophagy, or self-eating, or self-cannibalization of cells. Starvation runs this process because of the key activator of autophagy, nutrient deprivation. Actually, fasting is far more beneficial than just stimulating autophagy. It does two good things. First, we are cleaning out all our debris and damaged parts of our cells and organelles, and simultaneously at the same time, autophagy sending to our body the signal for stimulating growth hormones for producing some new snazzy parts. That's why the same process is totally self-cleaning and total renovating for our body. But renovating requires from us of getting rid of all the old stuff. Think about renovating your kitchen. If you have old, crappy 1970s style cabinets, you have to junk it before putting in new ones. It would be pretty ugly that you will try to put new cabinets in your kitchen without getting rid of the old one. So fasting may in some way reverse the aging process, and the process of destruction as well as important as the process of creation. What turns off autophagy? Eating. Proteins, insulin, or decreased glucagon all could turn off this self-cleaning process. And it doesn't take much. Even a small amount of amino acid could stop autophagy for cold. That's why the process of autophagy is unique exactly for fasting, something not found in simple caloric restriction or dieting. There is a balance here, of course. You can get sick of too much autophagy as well as too little. Not constant dieting. It allows us for cell growth during eating and for self-cleansing during fasting, which get us back to the natural cycle of life, feast and fast, balance. That's why I start only with 24 hours starvation weekly, and noticed that after this day my mood became better. I do my job faster and I feel more energy. That's why I strictly recommend you to learn this subject. Maybe you can use sources which I can provide you after meeting, and start starvation too and make your own conclusions. And here is my sources. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lina. I want you to look at these papers and to evaluate our speakers. Speaker 1 is Diana, and speaker 2 is Irina. Also, we need to have a break to speak with each other and to relax and to try some delicious food here. Also, I want you to say that we are volunteers, and please make contributions, 100 or 200 rubles if you can, and we work for you and for our next speakers here. Thank you.
Thank you. So in the timer, could kindly time 2 minutes for evaluations, and after the evaluations we'll go over there and have a chat and eat and relax. Now 2 minutes to write down the evaluations.
Can I have a question?
Yes, you can. Who needs pens? Sure. Hi, how are you? We have 30 seconds left, right?
Начинается с сентября или с октября?
Не, вот сейчас сентября, с 1 сентября у нас.
А, то есть мы с 1 сентября у нас
А,
мы
нет,
вносим взносы как
нет,
раз.
у нас 1 октября. У нас 1
По-моему,
октября,
с
да.
октября.
С октября.
Нет,
Но это не
это
важно,
не-
платить можно
это
когда угодно. Это
не
у нас
важно.
важно. Нет, смотри, ты решай, готов ли ты сейчас. Мы тебя не можем записать, если ты не мембер. Это надо понимать, да? Да, сумма не безумно большая,
Да,
тоже
да,
надо понимать. Потому что 2000 вначале, она больше, поскольку там еще $20 входит за, который один раз платишь. И больше никогда не платишь.
Да, я поняла.
Вот.
По-моему, $60 получается, нет? Сейчас.
Ну, если полгода столько будет
А,
стоить
это
примерно, да.
полгода.
Вот. С тебя, если сейчас будешь платить, с тебя 2 месяца возьмем только за август и сентябрь. Можем просто сентябрь, кстати. Ну, вот так.
Август тоже пошел, да.
Ну да.
У вас с октября, получается, начинается, да, вообще? Если так?
Нет, без разницы, без разницы.
Когда платят? Это когда?
Просто, да, там мы платим на полгода вперед, допустим, в октябре, а если до, ну вот, короче, считаем до октября, сколько осталось месяца
Вы
дальше.
посчитаете, да, сколько там?
Ну, короче, ты решай, хочешь сейчас
У вас там
вступать?
еще и очередь.
Ну да. Но участвовать все это время ты сможешь, просто как бы, ну, не спикером, а как-нибудь еще, ничего страшного. Вот, так что...
Ну, ладно, я тогда попозже, я, наверное, похожу, а потом, когда у меня расписание точно определится.
Ну, мне кажется, так будет правильнее. А потом, если что, ты себе подберешь, как бы, ну, я так не должна говорить, но вдруг другой клуб тебе по времени подойдет, ну, мало ли, чтобы, а потом будешь как бы...
Да, конечно.
Так, почта понятно? Вот я Л тут.
Ну, Анна,
Сол, ты.
Т-Y, да?
Да.
Собачка
L-T-Y.
Да, окей. А обязательно таймер или можно что-нибудь другое, если
Ну,
что?
конечно, можно что-нибудь другое.
Хорошо.
Единственное, что грамма мне будет трудно.
Все кроме граммария.
Ну да, граммария.
Желательно таймер. Хорошо. Посмотрим, кто там записался уже.
Окей, все, спасибо. То есть
Вот.
вы мне напишите, все?
Да, я отправлю инструкцию также. Ну, Катя
Забыла, как
отправит.
зовут.
Диана.
Точно, только что же оценила. Аня.
About the topic.
Do you want to return the pen? Some rules? Do you want to return the pen? Don't worry.
Do you think that to be successful leader is when you can serve. When you can serve the people, it's easy. The important thing is become a leader.
Well, this is what the research shows. I mean, it's not my opinion, right? I mean, it's just there are two types of leadership styles. We have the authoritarian style, and you've got this one that the person who helps everybody succeed is a long-term success, everybody's success, not your own success. So, I mean, according to the research, the companies that made amazing results were the ones where the leaders were helping the team as a whole and not do that. But it doesn't mean that the other one doesn't work, because the other companies, they were also fine. They were not the failure companies. They were just normal companies, also doing well. So I guess it depends on you as a junior member. Are you a manager? So too. I mean, if they just see you like in this big chair, just telling everybody what to do, and you don't actually do anything or you don't help, I don't think they will respect you. I think the boss is the one who is ready to clean if needed, to do everything with his hand if needed. Not to be afraid. This is what I would do. Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, I know. Okay, let me just check your schedule. Do you have it here? Finish at 50 minutes. You can give them 3 more minutes.
That's important, that's why I'm writing to you.
So if we could start or with the speaker here, so like at 49 minutes. 49. So when in 1 minute, we will get people to come back.
Like this, but it's journalism. Communication meetings, training meetings, social projects, conferences, and so on. But this gives you more than this is the first, but organization has to
Sorry, such if you have a global membership in one club and another club, you have to go in pathways to different paths, or you just go.
My membership is separate
one pathway and go through it, but have speeches in one club and then speeches in another club. And what for when people want to have some membership in a number of speeches.
It's time. Yeah, that's over. Please come back when you're seated. We have a set part of your seat. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're starting now, guys. Kindly take your seats. We'll proceed now to the second part of this meeting, where every single person can participate. So make sure you do, so you didn't come here for nothing. Might as well come on stage, huh? So now I would like to welcome on stage our table topics master, Alexandra Guляева.
Thank you. Dear Toastmasters and guests, in order to start this magical table topic session, I'm going to extract something from my pockets. Oh well, it's my mobile phone. Please check if your sound is still off after the break. And then I'm going to extract from my pocket some cards. Do you wonder what is written here?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, here are some tasks for you. I have some questions related to our theme of the meeting, which is happiness takes no account of time. I have some questions about happiness, and I have some questions about time. They're not very hard, and I will pick volunteers from the audience, and you will have from 1 minute to 2 minutes to answer this question with your personal story or your imaginary story or whatever you want to spend these minutes for. Please watch our timer. She will show you green light, yellow light, and red light when it comes to 2 minutes. With no further delays, I'd like to ask who is the first volunteer? Please.
I have 2 minutes, yes. How to keep balance between happiness and challenge? I think sometimes I need to take challenges in our life, and if you take some challenges, you will improve your skills, and your happiness depends, I think, on your skills. If you have many skills, I think you will be more happiness. I don't know what to say else. Tell my story. My personal story is how I was a dancer, hip hop and house dancer, and when I danced, I was very happy, and I feel it inside me, and I again and again returned to my dance school, and also I had some challenges because I visited many battle fests, and when you dance with one people face to face, and it's a big challenge for me because about 200 or 300 people see on you, look at you, and you must show best of your best. Stas.
What's your name, sorry? What's your name, sorry? Stas. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll take care of it, don't worry. Okay.
I would like to remind you to put your attention to our timer because she's showing you the lights, and I'm asking to the stage the next volunteer to answer some of the questions. Please. Your name?
what is the difference between happiness and alcohol influence?
What?
Okay, and alcohol influence. Okay, you know, my brother is a winemaker. He has a vineyard, and it is a family business. He's not my brother, blood brother. He's my cousin. You know, our mothers are sisters, and his family, in his family, wine is in big, you know, well, in his family, everyone understands wine, drink wine, and because I'm part of this family, I used to drink wine too a lot. And in our family, we think that wine is not like alcohol; it's just a product. It's a product you should enjoy. And I really love wine, and I don't drink anything except wine. But a month ago, I noticed that I started think slower and behave worse, and I decided to stop drink wine. I mean, I wasn't drink so much like it seems, but I stopped drinking at all. And what happens? I started to do more sport. For example, I stand on wakeboard. I started to wake up earlier, and now I think to continue this, I continue to be opposed to my family, not to drink at least a year more, to see what happens next. And I feel happy now in a different level. I was happy then, but it was simple level of happiness. Like I was just, well, it was, I don't have time? Yes. So what I want to say is we have different level of happiness. Now I think I'm experiencing the next level, and I don't want to be back to that. Thank you.
I would also like to say that at the end of the session we are going to conduct a voting for the best table topic speaker and for the best improvisation, so take your chance. And who is the next?
Do you think it's easy to understand if someone happy or not? Pretty tricky question, I think. Obviously, you can see like smile and body language of someone, and you can judge his happiness and like mood. But I think it's very briefly. I think it's pretty difficult to judge someone's like deep happiness if he or she happy in general. I think it's pretty personal after all. That's it.
Thank you. I have a lot more questions and a lot more slots for speeches, please.
Do you think that smile is a sign of happiness? Why? If I don't smile, what do you think about me? I will speech like this.
Maybe you're happy inside.
Why?
Why
Why?
not?
What size? of my happiness inside. No, smile. When I smile, when I'm open, when I want to show it and I share it with you, of course you feel it. It's an invisible contact with a group, yes. And smile shows especially your your mood inside, and of course you can share your energy for everyone when you smile. Please smile to me, everyone. Smile, do it. Smile, please, and show me your smiles. I want it. I don't see that everyone do it. Okay. Thank you, and for your energy.
I guess we're going to have a lot of inspiration about happiness today. And so I'm asking another brave person to the scene.
Hello. Excuse. What is your name? Paulina. I just arrived. Am I supposed to pronounce this?
Yes. Read it out loud. Do you understand?
Do I agree that time you enjoy wasting? If I'm agreeing that the time I'm actually enjoying is a waste of time, I'm not considering that what I'm enjoying is a waste of time, because when I'm enjoying, I'm usually spending it with the people I like. I'm doing something that I feel joy of. I feel pleasure of doing a thing. I'm putting myself in the moment of conducting something. So the energy I put in it is positive. I'm enjoying, and the energy and everything what I'm getting from it is also positive. So I think it's energy change, and both ways are positive. So whether it's people, whether I'm outside, whatever, I'm just enjoying. So it's also you're supposed to take time and appreciate a time frame. So as long as it's not getting over it, I suppose it's fine. So it's also keeping yourself in keeping yourself aware. That's about it. Thank you.
I would like to clarify once again that we have the green signal from the timer when it's the minimum limit of your speech, and you can finish starting from this moment. And we have the red signal when it's about to end, when you reach your 2 minutes. Is it clear? Like, nice. And I'm asking for someone else to try this. Can you read it out loud, please?
When did you feel happy because you made someone happy? Really, for me, I really like do some people happy. We can speak about my friends, yes, or about my family, or about I don't know, other people. I think when you just help some people in metropolitan or just street, yes, they don't know where are they, where I need to go, and they ask you, excuse me, can you help me? I don't know where is the station, or maybe don't know when I can go for a walk with my children. And okay, I can tell them, I can tell them some interesting place, yes, or when they need to go for visit with them friends or other family. And really I try remember about meetings, about situations when I make some people happy because it make happy myself, and I think it's really cool and it's energy for me. Thank you for your.
Thank you, Alina. And with no further delays, who else would like to make an improvised speech?
Do you remember happy moments for a longer time than sad moments? Yes, I do. For me, happy moments are of great importance than sad moments. And all we are, I think, are our happy moments. Every time I go for vacation, I try to find something new, to try something new, to visit some new places and so on. And in such way, I get new experience, new emotions, new feelings, and I collect all these feelings as a baggage for future days, maybe when I will be retired, will be tired, and please do not focus on sad moments. Focusing on these sad moments, you just waste your time. And real happiness, from my point of view, is the process. It's much more about the process than the result. So please enjoy your time, enjoy your life. That's all. Thank you.
And I'm waiting for the next speaker here. And I would like to say that guests are more than encouraged to take part in this improvised speeches part. So, you, of course. Why do you think people cry because of happiness?
Thank you.
You can give it to me.
Why do people cry because of happiness? Crying is not a sign of happiness. It's a sign of something you are not satisfied with, you are overwhelmed, you show negative emotions, and you show that you are not able to work, to handle the situation. Now when you cry of happiness, in my understanding, is that the feeling of happiness was so strong, so overwhelming, then you cannot show it in these positive signs like gestures, smiling, laughing, talking. You just somehow break down. And for me, it's a sign that you have reached the highest status of happiness, and after the cry is over, then you will just recover, you will slow down, and you will say, okay, I can think about it, what happened, I can enjoy it now, and I can reflect on it. I can say, well, this was the reason, this was the moment which I loved so much, I couldn't do anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And we still have some time left for a couple more improvised speeches. So, please. Karen?
What is being an optimist in your opinion? In my opinion, being an optimist means to concentrate on, as Simeon has told, that being an optimist means that you remember your positive moments from your life more than negative moments from your life. And then you try to find in your life something really nice and try not to see anything maybe ugly or something like that. Then try to see in people something good and positive. And try to be the better person, the better way of yourself. I think something like this.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Me.
Of course.
Victoria, right. When did you last feel happiness while listening to music? Well, an interesting question. You know, music for me, music, so I usually feel, no, it's a bit difficult question for me. So, you know, sometimes it happens so that some songs associate with some events in your life. So, as for me, music usually associate with some bad events or some maybe difficult periods. That's why it's a bit difficult to remember when music gives you joy and happiness. I suppose maybe it's about a great, you know, master. You should be a great master to create such music that can give people joy and happiness, and they can feel really happy. They can feel really like sprite when or while they are listening to music. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Thank you. So as we see, people can cope also with some hard topics for them. And do we have some time more? Yeah, right. So we have some time more. And would someone like to try? We have spaces for 3 more people, so think, please. Volunteers? Your name?
Paula. Describe the happiest day of your life. Real imaginary. Interesting. I think I would describe real day of my life. It was a very typical, usual day. I lived in St. Petersburg in my hometown. I was after a long period after breaking marriage. Yes, breaking marriage. Divorce. After divorce, yeah, after a long period of after divorce, and it was so impressed period of my life because I started to read a lot of interesting books, to meet interesting people, to change myself. I went to the bars, and it was so trivial, typical evening. I don't know. St. Petersburg was beautiful, and I was a little bit drunk, and I was after impression of interesting read of Jack Kerouac On the Road. If you know this book, you understand what I mean. And at this moment, I understand that I overcome my difficulties, and I was able to think straightforward in my big, great future. And now I'm there, and I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Vova. And I get a sign that it's an end of our table topic session. And now we're going to conduct the voting. You can vote by 2 ways. The first way is to take a little paper of this kind, write the name of the speaker you like among them all, and pass it to Anton.
And the second way of voting is to check the papers on your seats and vote by a telegram vote.
Today no telegram. Today
Yeah,
we're
it is.
It is?
It is, yeah, it works.
Did you set it up?
okay, then you can also vote by telegram.
Please
Yeah, excuse me. Okay, right over here. Just right over there. Yeah, just write the signatures there. Thank you.
So I would like to end with a couple of words and thank all the participants of the table topic session. Your stories were very inspiring, and I think most of the people sitting here got something new to know about happiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. We will announce the winner at the end of this meeting. And now I would like to welcome on stage our general evaluator.
Thank you. Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, I would like to congratulate you. Why? Because tonight we have a marvelous topic of our meeting, that happiness takes no account of time. And I would like to address right now the role takers, people who took some role tonight, who took the stage. Do you feel happy right now?
Yes.
Perfect. And I hope that you will still, as far as happiness takes no account of time, you will still feel happy after my evaluation, because I'll try to be as objective as possible. And in order not to fill the stage with myself for like 20 minutes of report, I would like to break my report into two parts. And first of all, before calling on my team of evaluators on stage, I would like to present some portions of my report concerning those people who most likely won't take the stage anymore tonight. So let's start from the president, Diana. I would like to say that I'm really delighted at the way that you start the meetings. First of all, a very strong point that you start them on time. That's a really big advantage, like a big progress for our club. Then a good thing to keep on the tradition to call the newcomers on stage and ask them questions that kind of breaks the ice with the people who are for the first time here. And a good thing is that you also introduced the way the meeting is going to be held further. That you told people who don't know the general flow of our meetings that they will have the opportunity to take the stage later about the table topics. So that's a really good way to conduct the meeting. Thank you very much. Then I would like to proceed to the Toastmaster of tonight's meeting, Alena. Again, thank you very much, big appreciation for the topic that you chose, and especially the way you presented it. It's not only about the actual happiness, but it's the connection happiness through the perspective of time. That's a really good way to for people to relate to this topic. Also, a good thing that you asked, that you at least started asking the speakers questions about happiness. So you asked Diana about that, but I was actually expecting that you would proceed and also ask Irina some questions, but at that time you moved to the break, so probably it's better to be a little bit more compliant in your conducting. And one recommendation about a little bit of confusion at the beginning when you didn't call the team of evaluators to the stage, but instead of that you called me, which was a really big surprise for me, to tell you the truth. Usually we introduce the evaluator at the end, but still that is a way to improve later. And now I would like to call to the stage the first personal evaluator, who will be Gaia Benisyan, and she will be delivering the evaluation for Irina Suvorov's speech.
Fellow Toastmasters, dear members and dear guests, dear Irina, thank you very much for your speech, because it was not easy. I think everyone will agree, but it was very useful and very interesting for us. And the first question for the audience, did you understand what is autophagy?
Yes.
Yes. So now I think much more people know what is it. Maybe before, like, who knew before what is it?
Yes.
Like, not so many. I knew it because like 2 or 3 friends of mine were following this method before. I didn't know the name, but they were telling me about it, and I was looking like, what? Now I know about it much more. First, I'd like to say what I liked most of all in your speech. I liked that your speech was very well organized and very well researched. So it was one of the main objectives of your speech, and in this situation I can say that it was really perfect. I like that you followed your speech with a lot of examples. For example, like a kitchen example and car example. It also gave us an opportunity to understand your speech much better, and it was much easier to follow in these situations. And now I'd like to give a few recommendations because we are too short in time. First of all, try to avoid long pauses. Like, even if you forget your words, just try to improvise, just say something. Don't think too much. Like, you were something standing and like, I could see that you are trying to remember what you are speaking, and you just forgot about the audience. Just pay more attention to the audience, enjoy your speech, not think about what should I say, like the next, and so on. If you change a few words, no problem. I didn't see your script, no one has seen it, we don't know what are you going to tell. So enjoy more your speech in these situations and think less. Sometimes I felt a few difficulties following your speech. You used a lot of biological words, not so easy for people who didn't study biology, even at school, very bad level of biology. But anyway, we got an opportunity to learn much more about it, and thank you very much for this speech.
And now we're going to hear the second evaluator, who will evaluate Diana's speech. That will be Semyon Musaj. Please welcome him.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Usually I present Spanish-speaking branch of Toastmasters, Moscow area, but today I'm going to evaluate in English. So, Diana, thank you very much for your speech. Your purpose was learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. So I think you achieved your main purpose. I liked your well-structured speech, and the main idea was divided, was supported by different examples. That's very nice. Also, I like that you used reference. The idea of your presentation was quite interesting for the audience and also for me. And as a listener, I would like to investigate to learn more about this topic. And I think it's very good for you to create such interest to this topic. And especially I would like to mention these two examples about Zeppos and submarine. It was amazing, and I've never heard about it before. Well, Another, sometimes what I would recommend you for improvement. First of all, sometimes you should be more attentive to the pace. Sometimes there are few moments when you are talking very quickly. Sometimes, yes. And the second way for improvement, the second approach, is eye contact. But I think it sometimes you miss eye contact because of plenty of materials you had to show to the audience, to describe, and so from my point of view it was quite nice presentation, and I wish you much more success, and as soon as you reach your best level about the speed, I think it will be an ideal presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I would like to thank our evaluators who presented very thorough and up-to-the-point evaluations. And I would like to highlight the fact that it is always a good idea for evaluators to start their evaluation with ennumbering the objectives of each speaker, so that the audience would understand what actually each speaker was about to achieve during their performance. And now I would like to provide you with a little bit more of my own report for tonight's meeting. I still have two roles which I would like to comment on. The first one is the thought of the day, which was delivered by Anton. I would like to thank Anton for such a very cool kind of mathematical approach, analysis of happy occupation. It was a good idea to provide examples, and my one suggestion would be to provide the examples for all combinations, because you chose only two, like two, and the one which was left was about combination of passion and skills. And I think that's a really good point, because a lot of people have some hobbies which they have passion for and they have skills for, but they don't think it's important. And that's what actually prevents them from making it into some commercial basis, into some occupation of their life, which could be a suggestion for the audience to think about it. Thank you very much for your presentation for tonight. And another role which I would like to comment on is the role of the table topic master, Alexandra. She's here. Again, a very good connection with the general topic of the meeting. I really liked the way that you showed the cards and told the audience that you have some questions related to happiness, some questions related to time. And it was a very good, like a natural connection with the topic. Also, I liked the way you encouraged newcomers to come to the stage, and it was again a very good continuation of what Diana told the audience at the beginning of the evening, the newcomers, that they will have the opportunity to take the stage later, and you actually supported this by inviting these people to perform on the stage. Another good thing which I really liked, and it was a kind of innovation I think at our meetings, that you started your presentation with asking people what you have in your pockets and putting out a mobile phone and saying, please check if your mobile phones are still off. That's a really good thing, because I'm sure that people actually took them out during the break and put them on and used them. It was a really good idea to remind them to put them back. And one suggestion which I have is a table topic master is the conductor of one important part of the meeting. He's also a facilitator. And at the moments when speakers feel a little bit confused, probably a little bit challenged with the task that they have, a little glimpse of help could be useful. So for example, when people stand and they don't know what to say, some supporting questions could really help them just to get out of the situation. In fact, there were supporting questions, but they were coming from the audience, like people started helping the speakers. So in my opinion, it should be probably done by the table topic master, the person who wrote these tasks and who knows better how to help people do this. But general, thank you very much. This was a really good performance, very interactive section. And now I would like to introduce my team of minor roles, evaluators, people who will do a great deal of job tonight, who were also preparing their reports. And I would like to start with grammarian, with Kate. Please welcome Kate.
Thank you. I will be very short. You are all grammar savvy today, and my note is just the formation of present tense for the third person. Sells recycle, it doesn't look instead of it is it isn't looks, it allows, etc. And the formation of passive, it is associated, it is being said, etc., etc. Other than that, everyone is great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to call to the stage the second role, that is the accounter. George, please welcome him.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was tonight something to count. And to my surprise, some people made more and said some more A's, M's, so and so and so on during the original session than during the table topic. That surprised me. That's a positive. Negative is in the table topics you are really champions, all of you. There were many counts, and I'll start with the champion, no, with the bronze medal, excuse me, with the bronze medal, and the bronze medal winner is number 2, Anastasia. Anastasia with the second. Here's the 9 count. I'll say something later on that. Then silver is Alina. And to my surprises, I said already, you had more hits in the official speech and interaction than in a table topic. I would have expected the other way around. And the absolute winner is Stan. Stes, number 1. Stes, where is he? Difficult to say something. If you cannot say anything to the subject, they remember something what you know and say it, continue and do it. That is it. And then you avoid both breaks and us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, George. And now we're going to listen to the third presenter. That's going to be our timer for tonight, Helena.
Well, my presentation is also going to be very short. Everybody was so efficient today. We didn't have like a major timer's break. Just during the speech, the first part of our meeting reached by 10 seconds. I think it's minor. So that's it. Everybody was so efficient. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are happy tonight to have a team of really up to the point and very thorough evaluators. I'd like to thank all the minor roles and the personal evaluators for presenting very short and very constructive reports. The only thing which I have to say about the minor role team is probably to Yelena, just a small suggestion. You could just sit a little bit closer to the aisle so that people standing on the stage could see you better, because sometimes people just maintain the eye contact like with something in the middle and they just don't see what's happening like on the sides. Also, another point, a very good idea to clap when people reach their limit. Well, at least we tried it last time and it really looked a very good idea, and I think you started doing it at the beginning, but then probably you decided to change. At least I saw some people reaching up the limit, but I didn't hear you clapping. So maybe you forgot or like whatever. Well, still that's the point for consideration. Shall we use it later or not? But a nice idea to consider. Thank you very much. Okay, now I would like to end this section of evaluation, and I would like to call to the stage our dear President, Diana.
Thank you so much for this wonderful evaluation. We're nearly done. Just a few things. So remember, you wrote the name of a person who's going to be the winner of this tables topic session? I would like, let's do that, yeah. I would like to invite on stage George, our guest from Zurich. Well done, we ran out of other ones, but I'm gonna give this one as the best speaker.
Thank you. Oh, my camera.
Yes,
Afterwards.
camera. Thank you
I
so
give
much.
I give you mine. Sorry.
We will send you one, don't worry. I'll airdrop you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's
you.
for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
A few more presents. Now, last Toastmasters year, we have chosen a person who was marked as event of the year, of a star of the year. We still didn't get her present for that, so I would like to welcome Victoria Zhiltsova. This wonderful bag from Toastmasters area. This is not our club, this is Toastmasters area. So if you could take a photo.
Yeah, change is the end result of all true learning.
Exactly.
Okay, good words.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And one more present today. It was somebody's birthday recently, and it was actually our general evaluator. Please come on stage, Nastya. Now Nastya likes to cook, so given our club's budget, all we could afford is this little thing for you to make the cooking even better.
Thank you.
And this little safer even, and this little gel with the smell of a cookie.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
for
much.
you. Thank you. Now, if you like this meeting, if you want to become members, if you want to come and participate on the next meeting, you can approach myself or Kate, and we will tell you all about joining. Now, our next meeting will be in 2 weeks. What's the date going to be? 25th of August, is that right? No?
28th.
28th.
Yes.
Yeah?
28th.
Okay, well, on a Tuesday in 2 weeks, so that's 28th of August, same time, same place. So we would welcome you here. And finally, I'm sorry to ask again, but because we're like going negative, please help us with a 100 to 200 ruble contribution, because as I said, I mean, we buy everything, all the materials, I mean, we print them, we buy the food with our own money. So if you could kindly contribute, I'll put the box over there. Thank you so much. Thank you, that's the end of the meeting. See you next time.